back. You already know it's the What's Up radio show. I had to bring it back because I was late. I gotta make my voice heard. We are back, guys. There's been some, well, I can't even say this week because this has been going on for a while now, from what I understand. And, you know, sometimes you see things coming up on your timeline and people talking about it, but you don't really zero in on it. I can admittedly say this was one, but I really paid attention from yesterday. The situation going on in Sudan. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that, Nadia.
Yeah. It's so weird because it's something that has been going on for a while and not at the same time. Based on like what actually transpired recently, right? Mm-hmm. So they've had unrest for a very long time. Thank you, Sophie. Mm-hmm. But it mounted quickly in April after the military ousted Sudan's longtime dictator Omar al-Bashir. Mm-hmm. So for months, pro-democracy activists have demonstrated demanding al-Bashir's ouster. But they wanted him replaced by a civilian government. This is
correct.
Where it gets tricky, right? Not a military one, which includes people who were loyal for years to the autocrat. Mm-hmm. The same person that they're trying to get out, right? So the Sudanese people, still desperate for respite after 3 decades of harsh rule under al-Bashir, reached violence of an unprecedented level that last week, with the crackdown on the protests, the military, which is so weird. Like because I can't fathom it living in Barbados. I can never see how people that we expect to trust that have on uniforms, like these
That's
are the ones that
part.
are doing all of this damage. Mm-hmm. The details of what actually happened over the course of just one bloody day last week are still emerging as we speak. Doctors have said they counted at least 118 bodies after the siege by government, backed by parliamentary groups, including 40 pulled out of the Nile River. The government has only admitted to about 60 of those deaths, however. Protesters have demanded a swift transfer to civilian rule since the military seized control from Bashir and locked him up. But after last week's brutal crackdown, many opposition leaders have been forced underground. Mm-hmm. So the same civilian rule that they're looking to come and save them from this ain't want nothing to do with this here right now. The men gone into hiding. Internet access has been cut off in Sudan, and other means of communication severely restricted. Even more disturbing have been the harrowing accounts emerging of men and women being raped by the parliamentary group known as the Rapid Support Forces, or RSF. Doctors said hospitals had recorded more than 70 cases of rape during the last week's attack on the protesters and its immediate aftermath. How did they get there, though?
Okay, let me just try to like put it in a quick in a nutshell. You know, for those who might not be familiar with the situation. So basically, from what I understand, the reigning government that they've had all this time, because apparently 3 decades. Mm-hmm. Isn't that dictatorship? Anyway,
it is.
Right.
Yes.
So, their dictator, he apparently started to put some things in place to, I don't know, affect the economy in some way, whether negative or positive, I am not sure. But
negative. I'll give you a little bit more detail about that. In December, an economic crisis underscored by the rising of bread prices result in rolling out mass protests.
Okay.
Demanding al-Bashir to step down.
Right. So for what I understand, the stuff he put in place, the civilians weren't feeling. His people were not feeling them, and it got to the point where they were calling for him to step down. Mm-hmm. Now, eventually, he did step down, and the civilians were calling for basically a civilian government. Mm-hmm. They wanted basically better people in charge. Yeah? And they wanted to be able to make that decision. Now, from what I understand, the military, who also, who brought him down, turned and made a deal with the civilians that this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna listen to you guys, and we're gonna give you guys a government chosen by the people. Mm-hmm. So they made that deal. Everybody was cool,
allegedly.
But then somewhere down the line, the military changed their mind. They're like, oh yeah, we changed our mind. We can run this thing now. And everybody was like, no, remember you told us that we was gonna get to choose.
Yep.
We just took down a dictator. We don't want another one.
Yep.
So then everybody start fighting. That's
Basically.
what I understand in layman's terms. That's what's happening.
Sounds so.
So the military, as they've changed their mind, I don't know why, I don't know what happened in that little space of time, but they decided, okay, well, we changed our mind, everybody not feeling it again, and now they're raining hell on the civilians.
Yep.
So my question is, what changed in that space of time? Why did the military change their mind?
Well, talks between the two sides went nowhere. And it just said that the protests were met with the vicious crackdown that we see, the results, the rapes, the injuries, the death.
So
And I
people are
just think
literally
it's
fighting for their
just
lives.
just think is the ego of the military now, where they're still met with the civilians protesting, although we did what you wanted us to do. So they took the matters into their own hands in a very negative and in a very dark way.
I feel is like at some point they said, wait, but we got control now. We can go and
clicked
gateway,
in their head.
and we can gateway to civilians. No,
Yeah.
we can control this thing. We taking this thing. Sorry, guys.
But not you cannot a step
Basically.
further than control. You're exploiting it now.
Yeah.
This ain't control no more. This is actually plundering and exploiting.
Yeah,
And
this
these-
is y'all not following in line. Okay, we'll
Yeah.
take out the ones giving trouble then, because this is what's gonna be now.
Yeah. They're definitely trying to set an example
Yeah,
to get people to stay in line.
that's crazy
Trump
to me.
apparently is going to be sending some the Democrat for that area.
The Sudan ambassador
Yeah.
to try to what?
To try to quiet down stuff, to have talks with them, peace talks. They'll be visiting Ethiopia, which apparently is neighboring to Sudan, and discuss options for a political solution to the crisis over there with the Ethiopian Prime Minister.
From what
Abiy
I
Ahmed.
understand, Ethiopia isn't even saying anything.
Yeah.
A lot of the countries that are surrounding Sudan that, connect with them in some kind of way, whether it's by trade, import, anything like that, they're not saying anything. They're seeing this happening and they're like, well, it ain't us, you know what I mean? That's not we problem. We don't want to get involved.
Says the Ethiopian leader has tried to mediate between the military and protesters in Sudan, but as the generals have the political and financial backing of Saudi Arabia, just as you said, and the UAE, there's a little incentive right now for them to back down. And you're right, like not much is being said, not much is being done. There's even suspicions that there was a media blackout surrounding this whole situation.
Correct.
And a lot of people didn't know about it until Rihanna actually brought it to the forefront, She put up a post on her IG
Yeah.
asking people to be aware of what's going on and go and do your own research. And to be honest with you, see, if she hadn't done that, I know for a fact there are a lot of people that would not have known that that's what's going on over there.
Correct.
It just was not on the timeline as big and as bold as other social news that's be flying about. I want to know why.
I saw the meme going around. Put that same energy y'all had with an empty burning building, referring to the
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
The fire.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah,
I just
man.
give thanks for the fact that she uses her platform to raise such awareness, and all the other celebrities and those, the powers that be that do. I'm glad for that.
Because there are a lot that don't,
Yeah.
like Beyonce and some others out there that have the power to speak to their fandom and get them to think differently, to react differently to things as well. And as you said, Rihanna is one of the few. Her, Nicki Minaj, a couple others out there that actually come out and talk to the people,
My thing is with Beyonce using her platform for that. She does, but kind of in a silent way, if you understand what I'm saying. She's not a shouter. She's not a I find she does things very discreetly, and she's very powerful in what she does. Trust me, her and Jay-Z, they have made a lot of moves behind doors. They're not shouting it out, but something like this would happen, and Beyonce won't go on her Instagram and say pray for Sudan, but Beyonce and Jay-Z gonna be there in Sudan.
I get that.
You know what I mean? Like
But it's-
donating millions of dollars, like trying to do something else.
I get that. But some people like to see dialogue as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially the
I
regular
agree.
layman.
I
the
agree.
regular fan, even if it was written by a publicist,
Yeah.
just having the optics see that it came from Beyonce, like Beyonce's name, and it looks like she's the one who actually wrote it. It has an impact on the people looking on, rather than seeing Beyonce's publicist write it, or something like that. But for sure, I think that they're still going to be assisting in the background, and doing what they have to do to help out in any way that they can. That's true to their nature. They're philanthropists for sure.
My thing is, so when Trump sends his ambassador to Sudan and he sits down and he says, okay guys, we gotta come to a solution. So, you gotta give it up or you guys gotta give it up. But both y'all can't reign. The military and civilians both can't reign. So, we gotta make a decision. What if none of the two parties want
War.
to give it up?
And Trump might not be opposed to that. That might be the reason why Trump going in, allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly.
That's interesting.
That might be the reason why he going on in there. War makes money. So if his foot is the first when they're about to erupt in war, he got a good footing. He got a good footing in the whole scheme of things. Best believe that a lot of people are waiting for war to pop off right now.
I can imagine the ambassador, everybody's arguing, not coming to solutions. So he's like, all right, plan B. I got a boatload of guns. Highest bidder.
Correct.
Talk to me now.
It can get there. It will get there.
Yeah. Can we get away with it? So, yeah.
Arms, bombs, the whole arsenal can get pulled out.
I can provide peace, but I could also provide weapons of mass
Let's
destruction.
hope that it does not get to that. Our thoughts and prayers remain with Sudan as well at this troublesome time. And just do your research and see. I don't know what we could do. But there gotta be something we could do.
You know how the saying goes: for evil men to reign, all it takes is for good men to do nothing.
Correct.
So let's see what we could do.
For real.
On that note, guys, we are gonna take a little break, but stay right there. We're coming right back.